So that looked like man was just on that Peruvian raw.
I mean,
Oh,
you know,
man.
if
Come
that's
on,
what
man.
if
You
that's what
wasn't
we
gonna say
need to get
nothing?
the show started, that's
Nah.
woo,
Quick.
woo.
Yo.
That's how you
Hey.
start a show. You hear me?
Yeah. No. We
Woo.
don't condone them things. Right? Whew.
You hear
Shout out to
me?
push the T, but yeah,
Yeah,
no,
me. No
we
judgment
all right
over
over
here,
here.
broski. No judgment over here. Everybody has their vice. Everybody has their sin. You hear me? That's it, you
He's
know?
good, isn't he?
You
He's
know?
good, isn't he? He's
Everybody
good,
has
isn't
their
he?
own, you know?
He's
Come
good,
on.
isn't he?
People, ladies and gentlemen, I go by the name of Zoosh, aka Guyver.
And I'm his co-host, I'm Drizzy Freckles, aka Mr. 767, and we're back, sir.
Okay, I
We're
wasn't
back.
too sure if you were gonna remember that from last time.
No. Come on, brother. Come on,
Feels
brother.
fresh.
Come
I
on,
thought you
brother.
might forget
That
yourself.
mental.
You know, sometimes
That
Raiders.
mental
Yeah.
exercise. You know
Say
what I'm
no
saying?
more. Say no more.
You know what I mean?
Man like man like 767. How you been, my guy?
Yep.
How you been?
I mean, good, sir. You know what? I keep saying this. I feel like I've been saying this the last couple of shows, but I am just so gassed with like this era we're in now. You see here, and the last couple of weeks, like 2025 is gonna be cooking with content, man. Like
Hey,
TV,
films and
movies.
TV shows are dropping like singles and albums. You know, and it's like, yo, I even had time to sit with this album yet, but the next one's out
Yeah.
and there's a
Right,
deluxe out on
right.
this one, and it's like, oh, I gotta go back
I
and
agree.
you hear me? It's like it's moving mad. It's moving mad. Is it too
It's
much though,
moving mad.
Drizzy? Is it too much?
I don't know. I don't think it's too much if the content is good because there was a once upon a time we were getting content like one would be in January, the next one would probably be in like summer, and the next one would be in time for Christmas.
But how do we get
As long as we're
round
getting
this
good
all? How
content,
do we get round it all though?
it's all timing, bro. It's down to just prioritizing stuff like next month.
And then with socials, you
You know,
got to kind of try and if you're not watching that, you got to stay away from spoilers. And it's a
yep,
lot. There's a
yep.
lot going on, Drizzy. There's a lot
Yeah,
going on.
yeah.
There's a
It's a
lot going on.
sport. It's actually a sport because the by the time people see this, I reckon reviews will be online. The embargo will be lifted for Thunderbolts because it had its premiere recently. It is what it is, man.
There's
Do
a
you know
lot
what I'm
of
saying?
content, man. There's a lot. There's a lot going on. But
Yes, sir. How you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm all
Okay,
right. I've been okay.
good.
Okay. I've been all
We'll
right, man.
take we'll take that. We'll take
I've
that.
been,
Yeah.
just maneuvering through these
Mm-hmm.
tariffs. You hear me? Just trying to stay on top. You hear me? As the
Bro,
market goes up and
bro.
goes down and up. You hear me? I'm just trying to get in where I fit in. You know? Just
The
trying to
dollar's
understand.
been getting its ass whooped with
Listen,
this whole tariff stuff, man.
listen,
Now's a good time to go over there because, boy,
listen.
you know what I mean.
This ain't the finance show, but
No, but we like to drop
know,
gems on our
that's what I'm
audience. You know
saying,
what I'm
man.
saying?
Buy when the
Yeah,
market's down. That's what they say. That's what they
it's
say.
just
But know
that's
what
what
you're
they
buying.
say.
Know what you're buying.
Shout to what was that film called? Based on the whole
The
buying
big, the Big Short.
no, the one about during the COVID. You know the
Uh,
one
oh, God
that was
damn it!
really good as well.
It was a good dumb money.
That's it.
Dumb
Yeah,
money.
yeah,
Dumb money.
yeah,
Dumb
yeah,
money. Yeah,
yeah,
that was a
yeah.
good. But
That's
yeah,
that was a really good
we're
film, man.
pretty much in almost in them times again.
Yep.
Anyway, um,
Yeah.
speaking of buying what you're confident in and buying what you know, we went out the other day, done a cine club,
Yep, as we
got
do.
got ourselves some cinema tickets
As we do.
to go and watch. I would say what seems to be the biggest film so far this year.
That's correct.
Um, of course, we're talking
Minecraft.
about
Oh,
Sinners.
okay, yep, that's
I
correct.
mean, yeah,
Yep.
we're talking about Sinners. So we done a cine club. Shout out to everybody that passed through cine club, man. Always good vibes.
Big 'em
Always
up.
good vibes.
Yep.
However, this was a different cinema experience that I've had. I've never had this cinema experience in my life. Um,
In
I
that you're not even lying. You see when you
yeah,
say
in my
in your
life, I've
life, normally
never.
that could be like over exaggerating.
Yeah, yeah,
But nah, in
yeah.
this case, in my
I've
life, I've never
I've
experienced
never
this.
experienced this. I've never even heard anybody say this. Like I've never heard
Nah.
anybody talk about this experience that we experienced while going to the
Yeah.
cinema. So the fire alarm, the fire alarm went off in the middle of the film, Drizzy.
Of all the ops to have at the cinema, the fire
Bro,
alarm, the
the
thing that's
fire
meant to
alarm.
save you becomes your ops.
What a mess that was. What an experience.
Absolute
Right in the
show.
middle of the film.
Right where a said person gets into the barn and they're having a conversation where they're kind of like, you know what, like, people, you gotta.
Yeah, well, that
Wait,
was the
what?
crazy thing, because it wasn't like there wasn't a fire alarm for everybody to hear
Yeah,
and think, oh, fire alarm, let's vacate the
yeah,
building. It kind of looked like there was beef going on. Like, where
yeah.
we was, because we was right at the back, as you were looking down at the front, I was like, here we go again, you hear me? Some of the man them, you hear me? Someone sitting in someone's seat and commotion, now it's gone too far. So that's kind of how
Yo,
it was.
someone was sitting in my seat though.
Oh shit, missed out on that, bro. How could we miss that? 'Cause
Bro, when I
I
pulled
see that
up,
with my peripheral.
yeah,
I
so
see.
when I pulled up, this Donny and his girl was there. And I'm like, I know these are my seats, but you know when you're like, let me just double check because I know someone ain't sitting in my seats like it's a free nation out here. I'm like, brother, you're in my seat. And it was, you sure? I said, brother, I've looked up, you're in my seat. Oh, no, where is this? The missus had us sitting right at the front, and then we saw these. I said, boy, you didn't speak to your missus how to allocate
Well, you
seats,
know
but
what?
this is my
Yeah,
seat, bro.
two
They had to bounce, man.
two things about that is one when we first come. True, I came before you. They were sitting at the back in someone else's seats, and then they had to move around, and then that's where they sat in your seats. I'm guessing, you get me? And the second thing was you missed out the bit where you first came and didn't know who was sitting in your seats and was just like, yo, boy, someone's sitting in my seats, they better jump up or, you hear me? Like,
Yeah.
boy, yeah. Man was basically looking like man was about to shut down this whole cinema. I was like, all right, Drizzy, go you. You hear me? Drizzy was about to shut everything down. He said, hey, what? You hear me? Someone's sitting in my seats. I don't know who's sitting in my seats, but, and you knew damn well who was sitting. You knew damn well who was sitting in your seats, man, standing right. Like, boy, you hear me? I don't know who's sitting in my seats, but, boy, you hear me? It's
Bro,
like better, you hear me?
you know what it was? I was just thinking like I want to save them the shame of trying to sit there acting like it's not them. But it's like, oh my brother, my bad. So that's why I was like, but at the same time, like, bro, that's the whole point of booking in advance. You allocate seats. Americans wish they had this type of setup, bro. They don't have allocated seat booking in America, you know.
Oh, they don't have that.
It's mad. Yeah, it's a luxury for us. They don't have it, bro.
Oh,
You
it's,
just
what
buy
is
a
it?
ticket and
First
pull
come,
up,
first
like
serve.
most cinemas.
Oh, man.
Kind of thing, bro. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, so I'm just like, yo, someone's in my seat. I don't know, because as soon as I walked in, I was like, okay, this is a packed house. Someone's in my seat. I just looked up. I was like, someone's in my seat. Like, but anyway,
But, yeah.
that was the precursor to what was to come. I guess we just didn't know.
Apparently the fire alarm went
Yeah.
off. But the way they tried to
Yep.
vacate the cinema was just terrible. Like,
Yeah,
if
piss
there
poor.
really was a
Yeah,
fire,
I agree.
like, I would have died because I didn't move. I didn't move for the
Yeah.
whole thing. Like,
Where they
Told
going?
us it's a fire alarm. Zushi's just at the back, like that, just chilling. I'm like, where's this guy? I'm thinking like counting heads and all that. This guy's just chilling in the fucking auditorium while the world's burning outside.
We would have
For
slaughtered.
school, bro. Better respect it.
just sat there because, like I said,
I know.
at first it was like there was this commotion and then everybody kind of left the cinema. I was like, all right, cool. I ain't really got the memo. And then somehow word funneled back. And then it was like, all right, cool. Do we move? Do we stay?
It's too late to move.
And yeah, literally for about... But you know what was peak? Actually, I'll tell you the peakest thing, bro. Like, me and a few people that stayed, like, we sat down and they played another 5 to 10 minutes of the film. So that's why, that was even more reason why we didn't move. Because we was like, right, if this is a proper thing, then why isn't the whole cinema just shut down, the screen locked off, etc.? So 10 minutes later, the film locks off. So then we're like, all right, cool, maybe something's going on. So we still chill for a minute because, you know, that's how we do. You hear me? Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, cool cats. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, but there wasn't no real indication to leave the cinema. Even though by this time the whole cinema was clear, it was still like, yo, what's going on? Literally for about 45 minutes, bro. It was a 45-minute.
Brother.
The whole film was off. You hear me? Crazy.
I was so pissed off with the situation, bro. I just grabbed a bag of Doritos and I just made my way back to the seat, bro.
I mean, that's what
I
you
was
do.
just like, yo, can
Yeah,
you
me.
pattern up my compensation, please? I got like 4 tickets for comps and all that. I said, cool. I was like, yo, I've been eyeing up them Doritos and I just demoed the thing, bro. I just
Yeah,
went back to
bro.
my seat, fam.
I
I
mean,
was just like, what we doing, man?
I'll give you even one more
Yeah.
joke thing. Remember I said they played 5 to 10 minutes after everyone left?
Yeah.
That's where they started it from. So, ideally, people don't even know this, but they missed 5 to 10 minutes of that film.
I knew it. I knew it.
They fully like the
I
bit
knew it.
leading up to that.
I knew it.
Like where they started it from was where I last saw it from, and like I said, I left after everyone else, and they played a little bit of the film, complete part. But anyway, they did refund tickets or give people vouchers or some complimentary bill. You hear me?
Yeah.
Let's waste no more time. Let's get into it.
Let's waste no more time. As my brother in arms on this reviewing thing said, we're talking about Sinners, the latest. This is the quadruple in the collaboration team of Mr. Ryan Coogler and Mr. Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. Well, hold on,
Sinners.
wait. Isn't it 4? Wouldn't it be 4?
Yeah, quadruple, right? 4.
Oh yes, my bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why I heard triple. I don't know why I heard triple.
Yeah, no, quadruple. Yeah.
I fully heard quadruple and digested triple. But,
Don't do Wakanda forever like that. Yeah, go on. But yeah, so want to take it away, or do you want me to take it away with my hot take?
Oh, I didn't know you had a hot take. I'm interested in.
I have a hot take.
Hot take, Drizzy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, let me hear a hot take, man. Go on, do your thing, man.
Okay.
Start off differently, man.
All right, my hot take is the concept of these vampires having to be needing a certain thing in order to go places. I feel like that's a metaphor for the whole invite to the barbecue thing. So they're seeing what's going on over there, and they want a piece of the action, but they can't just run and take it. So they're saying, hey, why don't you invite us over there so we can infiltrate from the inside? That's my first hot take. So I think that's a metaphor for the whole invite to the barbecue.
Okay.
Right? Yeah? Does that make sense? Do you see where I'm going with it?
You know what? When you first dropped it, I was like, that's a mad hot take. And then as you finished explaining
elaborate
it, I was like,
more,
that ain't the worst. That ain't
right,
as
okay.
bad as I initially
Cool.
thought. So I'm not super mad. I don't know if I'm here for this yet. But I
feel like it's a cultural appropriation type of message.
So the word infiltrate kind of changed the whole. You hear me? So I was like,
okay, cool. All right, and then
here.
the second one is, I think that there was another message in regards to not accepting the first offer that's on the table for what you have. I.e., the moment with the little girl when he said this amount and she said yes, and he's like, no. What is your price? And then he started to negotiate, and he done it a couple of times. And I just feel like that's a metaphor for don't accept the first offer that's on the table. Negotiate for something that's better for you and what you need in life. That's just my 2 hot takes. All right, like the message is for us to not accept the first. Like, yo, here's £5 for what you have. Well, if you're willing to offer me 5. That means you've probably got more to offer.
But how
you just want to give me 5 and I accept it.
How else was that played out in the film other than those little moments that was like little messages?
I think it was definitely a lot with Stacks where he was just like, no Smoke, sorry, where he's just like, he wasn't accepting things. Like when they said, this is all they can afford. He's like, no, I don't want no cotton picking money. I want money. Like, I'm not accepting this right now. And they're like, yo, you got to figure the bigger picture.
Yeah.
They keep coming back. Eventually, they're going to have money to spend. Little things like that, I was just like, maybe, I mean,
okay.
I don't know. I feel like Coogler was dropping some little gems.
Say in the comments. Cool. But, all right. Smoke and Stack, played by Michael B. Jordan. He plays twins. He's playing himself twice. Not an easy task, not an original thing. We have seen it before. However, I will say Michael B. Jordan does do this quite flawlessly. And it is quite interesting how you just lose that it's him. I mean, another good example that was just the other day was Jim Carrey in Sonic 3. You hear me?
Yeah.
I thought it's that how you can make it seem so seamlessly, and I feel like Michael B. Jordan definitely done a good job with playing those two characters. Go along with that as well, Ryan Coogler, the filming, the direction of it, in terms of there was no glitches. Like you couldn't see where the cuts were. Like there weren't no CGI defaults. Like the masking was done well. Like this was shot very well. Like especially between those two characters, man.
I agree. I think this definitely. I mean, Michael B. Jordan. We've seen him from. I mean, he's probably been things before that, but obviously, for a lot of us, we probably first saw him in The Wire. Like he's come a long way, brother.
So let's just get into it, man. Let's just get into it.
Alright.
A lot of people's raving about this film. It's 10/10. It's 100. People's like this could be the best film of the year, and we're only in April. People are like, this might be the best film I've ever seen. This is the best vampire film. How did you feel about this film, Drizzy?
I stayed away from. I think I only saw what people were saying about this film when I actually got to Westfield. There was this massive poster thing there, and it had some reviews on there like superb and this and that and yada yada. I was like, all right, cool. I'll be the judge of that. But I can honestly say this is by far the best film I've seen for 2025 so far, hands down. This is the best film I've seen for 2025 so far.
All right.
I stand on that. I'm gonna go watch it in IMAX. This is the best film I've seen for 2025 so far. Spoiler alert, it'll be my top 10. It might be my top 5, but who knows? There's a lot of more films to come out that could nudge it down, but it will definitely be my top 10. But this is the best film I've seen for the year so far. Yeah, 100%.
I'm not mad at that take. I mean, we're still early on in the year. I guess I would agree.
Yeah.
For me, how did I feel about this one? Let's just say the beginning is a very slow build. I feel like that's something I wasn't expecting. It's a very slow build. I mean, it starts off like with action in a way. Like it starts off with a few shock scenes where you're like, okay, cool, we're getting into this real early. Like I like what they did in the beginning of the film. And then from there, it's story building time. It's character building time. And although it's very slow, it is enjoyable because you are getting to know some of the characters at present. There was times where I felt like it was like assembling a team. I felt like, all right, cool. This is where you go and collect the members to go and assemble your little band that you're trying to put together, etc., etc. And I always like those elements of any type of film where you're going out now and you're assembling your team, your band, or whatever that is. I just like that. So I enjoyed the whole build-up to wherever this film was going. Within that build-up, there is a lot of messages. I think the cinematography throughout the whole film up until that point, because I will say when it gets to like the core of the film, it's set more in like this juke joint. But before that, you're more out in the open. It's set in the 1930s, so the tone is very old school, westernish kind of look. So I enjoyed all of that because I felt like it changed from feeling like a blockbuster to like more of an independent indie film. Yeah. And that was just from the scenes that was shot and the tone and the changing. And yeah, I felt that within the film. So all of that was cool. However, like I will say, what I did want a bit more, like within that story building, was probably a bit more of a backstory. Like I felt like it was more of this is how it is present, but there was so much more that went on in the past as to what led you here. I felt was left a bit too much to imagination. Like, so especially like Smoke and Stack story.
Okay.
Like, yeah, you know where they went and what they did, but you don't know exactly where they went and why they did or what exactly they did. So there is a few hints in there for you to like kind of bite at and kind of make your own, well, not make your own story because the story's there. I just felt like there wasn't enough there for me to feel exactly where they were coming from, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
yes.
okay,
So,
I respect that. I respect that. I feel like just to add to that, it does feel like two different, it feels like two halves of a movie, not two different movies. That would be making it bad. There are two halves to this movie, and it's like the first half I thought was so good that you forget the second half is when it's all gas, no brakes. And when it is all gas, no brakes, like, oh snap, yeah, I forgot. We got to go here. But I did like the character building because obviously any good film will build up characters to make you care for them because you know some passer's going to happen to them that's going to hit you in the chest. So I did like, I thought the first part was so good that I could have carried on watching that. And then when it was all gas, no brakes, I was like, oh shit, yeah, we still got this to come.
No,
So
definitely,
I
definitely
did rate
agreed.
that still, but
Definitely agreed
yeah.
that it was split into two because yeah, like I said, the first half was it was a slow build, but you knew you was gonna get
Hmm.
somewhere, and so the build was
Yeah.
enough for you to be like, yo, I need to see where this actually lands. Now, where it actually
Yeah.
lands is where it kind
Hmm.
of gets into the core of the film and really gets interesting.
Yeah.
Music plays a very dominant part in this film. Throughout this whole film, the
Yeah. Yeah.
soundtrack, I mean, as you've heard, and if you've not heard, the soundtrack slaps. I totally agree that music is the centerpiece. I think my
Hmm.
best scene is when they do finally open up the juke joint and it's that scene where Sammy's performing and you've got that dance music scene going from past, present to future. Like that was, yeah, the way he was able to explain. It was almost like in other films they would show that dance scene and they may either narrate, do like a flashback,
Yeah.
or do something else that will
Yeah.
indicate what he was actually trying to explain in terms of how the music influences the past, the present, and where it's come from and the culture of the actual music. The way he explained that in this scene and the way he directed that was sick. Was absolutely sick. I mean, I hate to use this guy as a reference, but it just reminded me of like a Kanye West video.
Yeah.
Like when I saw it, I was like, I just instantly thought, this is like a sick video from my Twisted Dark Fantasy sort of. You get me? My beautiful Twisted Dark Fantasy. Like it just gave me that kind of vibe. You get me? So that was like, that was one of them for me. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good that's a great take. That's a great take.
Yeah.
That's a great bro. Bro, bro, you've done this thing before.
I
That's a
mean,
great take, bro. I
yeah.
like that. I like that. I like that.
So,
I'm gonna give you credit when I use that in future conversations about this. I'm like, yo, so my co-host that I do the show with, boom, 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 align this with. So I'm saying, yeah, 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 yeah,
it just
yeah,
gave me
yeah,
that
yeah,
vibe, and I thought that was just so
yeah,
sick to display. And then within that, if you could see what they was actually trying to get off, it was sick. Like they kind of
yeah.
explained what the film was about within that little scene there, how the music worked, like where it is the music is, like where it is that was looked upon as a sin and how it was sinful and how it might be sinful in the past, and like it was just everything was within that moment for me, like, and that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
that ideally was the best scene for me. I just thought, yeah, that was
Okay.
sick. But however, coming out of that, coming out of that scene, I don't feel as confident with the film as everyone else is. So coming out of that
Okay.
scene, I
Oh,
feel like the
okay.
scene took a little bit of a dip. When we
Yeah.
start to get to the actual horror and the action of this film, how a few things actually like took place was just a bit annoying at times. All right, how do I say this without saying it?
Okay.
The invite, yeah, the invite. You know, like you know how vampires work and that with the invite.
Yep.
The main. So
Yeah.
when you got to that part and you realize, okay, boom, 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 you know, like it then got you to a part of mystery of like, okay, so how is this actually gonna happen? Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
It was a bit like, all
Uh-huh.
right, so how is this actually gonna take place? And how it actually took
Yeah.
place was where the film went downhill for me a little bit. How it actually took place with the character that said that this crashed out. She just crashed out.
Yeah. Yeah.
After that,
Yeah.
I feel like the film took a little bit of a dip because then I just started to see a little bit, like it just felt a little bit like forced.
Yeah. 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 Because I thought that when I was sitting there, I was like, this idiot, man. But I think it was frustration building. Let me ask you this. This ain't a spoiler, nothing. Based on our experience, because I'm gonna take some points off of this film just because of my experience watching the film, but would you go back and watch this film again to properly digest everything that paused? That's crazy. Would you go back to watch this film to that was crazy to see the the movie from start to finish? Because I heard there's an end credit scene as well.
I thought we saw that.
No, we saw the mid credit one. There's an end credit one apparently that takes place in current time.
Perlene, the married woman, how she was on Sammy's case was just a bit. I was like, but you don't even know the guy, and like you're married, like, and you know what? That's what I thought when I was watching.
Allegedly.
And then a couple of days, well, up till today, I kept thinking about it. I was like, why was she moving so mad? And then I thought, hold on, wait. Was that a part of like the whole music and the whole sin? Like, is that another indication of the sin?
I think so. I think the music made her turn out. It turned her out, basically.
It must have. I mean, it wasn't a great indication of that. You get me? But it must have been that. That's like what I got from that. There was this bits I did feel like was a little bit missing, and it's funny because I've been seeing this trend go around where they're talking about spin-offs from Sinners, like what they can do as spin-offs. And all the spin-offs I saw were bits that I felt was missing from the film. You get me? So it was things like having a Smoke and Stack backstory and like what it is that they actually did and boom, boom, boom. And it was going in more of the whole hoodoo aspect of it and the whole spiritual with Annie. Wumi Masako's character.
Yes, that was it. It was Smoke's girl, right? Annie. Yeah.
And it was just woven a bit more.
Great scene, by the way. You know what scene I'm talking about. That was a great scene. Great scene.
Dope scene. And so for me, I felt like this film had all the ingredients to make a banging recipe. And it made a banging recipe. I just don't think it was like 5 Michelin stars. You get me? It wasn't that as what people are saying. I thought there was elements of it that could have. And it was a long film. That's another thing. It was a long film.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours, 17 minutes or something like that.
I mean, let it just be said, like, I wouldn't mind a Ryan Coogler's cut. I wouldn't mind a little 4-hour. And
then maybe that's where those little gaps you're talking about get filled in.
Let me just throw that out there. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Hey, we need the Coogler cut.
That's what I'm saying.
Cut the check.
Because I feel like that's like another aspect of films that I'm finding. It's like what to keep and what to leave on the chopping floor. You get me? And I feel like some of the bits that were left on the cutting board or the chopping floor, like I would have preferred to be in the film. Like, there were scenes in there that I felt like, you could have got rid of that and kind of maybe put this in there. However, with saying that, I also understand that it isn't just easy to take out 3 minutes and then put 3 minutes of this. Because this might take 5 minutes to explain. You know what I'm saying?
And it might disrupt the flow.
All right. That's what I'm saying. So the flow that they chose, cool. Yeah. I maybe just would have thought, I was just thinking of a different flow. I'll just say that.
Okay, cool.
I thought a 6 scene as well that didn't go too far into it was the whole river dance and how they incorporated that, and I thought that was sick. And you know what? Like, I'll say this. You know, Smoke and Stack, when it was Chicago they went to, and they stole bears and boom, 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 and they stole these Irish bears and blah, blah. I thought that was somehow gonna tie into, you know what I'm saying? That was just
like he's the one they robbed, and he's come to collect. Somehow, and then
I just thought it tied in the whole Irish thing, but didn't really. But I liked them individually, but the tie-in wasn't always there for me. You get me? However, let's get into.
Do you think him falling when we get introduced to the main vampire into this? Do you think he was representing the devil as like the fallen angel? Because the way he got introduced. I mean, this ain't a spoiler. He just drops from the sky. Like, was that a metaphor? Like, he's the fallen angel. Hence the music side of things. You know what I mean?
I kind of got that because, all that was just to show kind of the gateway and what you're letting into the choices that the preacher boy made.
His papa warned him.
Yeah. Like, I understood all of that. But I will say I can understand how sometimes, like, just your average viewer would have to look too far into this film to get something out of it. And I think that's what I mean by some of the bits that tied in would have just made it a bit more flowy. But,
gotcha.
I ain't mad at it. It was a good film. It was a really good film. It's a
Yep.
really, really, really good
Really
film.
good. Yeah,
I just felt like it was a
unique.
bit, yeah. I just I kind of agree with the
Okay.
whole
Oh yeah. Go
Dust Till
on. Go on.
It's kind of
Yeah.
Dust Till Dawn-ish. Let's not do that. Yeah, let's not do that. But I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
You hear me? What are you giving it?
I'm gonna go one higher. I'm gonna give it an 8. So I guess if we're summarizing it, like rounding it up, it'd probably be what, 7?
No, let's give it an 8. We can give it an 8 because I'm close to
8.
an 8.
Okay, cool. I saw it. Yeah. All right, cool. Say no more. Because I'm gonna give it 8. I'm gonna give it 8, man. Sinners, for now, this is the benchmark for other movies for 2025.
Definitely. People, if you've seen it, let us know. If you haven't seen it, let us know if you're gonna go check it out. But you already know what time it is. It's definitely something to run to the screen for. You already know. We go by the
Absolutely.